evening, everyone. It's Sissy from Sissy's Cards and Crafts. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Eastern Ontario, Canada. Thanks for popping in and joining me in making a card. So I thought I would go back and do one that, a stamp set that's current, and I thought we would case a card tonight. So case, copy, and share everything. That's what it stands for. And I thought we would do the Cute as a Bug suite, or the bundle. It is as cute as a bug. It really, really is. So this is the mini catalog, January to April. So it is valid until April. Take a look at it. It's available online, and there is some great stuff in here. So a suite, just to kind of start off, a suite is a grouping of similar product. They go together. They like everything just works together, and they sell it as a bundle. So one price, one code here. That's makes it easy. But the savings is buying these two. So these are bundled. So the stamps and the dies. When you buy stamps and dies together as a set, or as a bundle rather, there is a 10% discount. So that's where you save the money. Then adding on the gems, the ribbon, the paper, that's dollar for dollar added on. So I'm not sure. I know these gems have gone in and out of stock. So if this was something you wanted and you're like, oh, you check the suite, you know 167007, and you realize that's not available, check to see, are these available? Because that's where you're going to save the money. Order the bundle of the stamps and dies, and then add these other things on. You'll get those when they come in stock. I haven't checked, so I apologize. They might be in stock right now, but I know they've come in and out of stock. So that is the catalog. I thought we would copy a card. So see, they've even got some here on jam jars and stuff, which I think is cute. They've done these little boxes, which is adorable. There's so many things that you can do, and they give you all sorts of ideas. I'm just going to see if there's something on that page. No, it's a different bundle. So I thought we would case this card here. And if you tried to join on last night and you saw that I had a live scheduled, I did start a live. And then my son and my dog and my husband came barreling upstairs and kind of bursted in and put an end to everything. So I had to abruptly stop it in the middle. But we were working on this card, and that is the card that I thought we would continue on tonight. I will change this up a little bit. I already have. I've altered these, I believe. No, well, these are the same. It's just they were going in a different direction. I put a different little character here, but we'll do that. First, let's look at the suite. So we have the stamps. Now, this is the way everything comes now in one of these clear envelopes. It's great. It makes it nice. So your stamps come in one, dies come in another. I just like to keep them both together, so I just take them out of one and stick them in together. So I've got some stamps already on blocks, the one we're going to use tonight, but these are basically the stamps in the set, just like it shows on the front. However, note the front usually is going to be a little bit smaller than the stamps. These are pretty much on point though. And then when this was full, I peeled this back. I inked it all up, popped it on here, and got a copy just so I can make sure I'm keeping track of my stamps that are in there and I don't lose them. And then the dies. So some of these dies, we're not actually going to use any of them tonight, but some of them cut out the stamps or paper, like this guy. Some are standalone dies, like this guy. So there's a little tiny die here, right here, that does a snail, a butterfly, and a little dragonfly. It is adorable. Then there's also flowers. So here's a stem, and there's a flower you can put on the top or here. You can put them however you want. Here's another little flower, stems. There's mushrooms and the caps that go on top of the mushrooms, so you can make them kind of 3D. There are little berries, so you can cut them out, strawberries, and like a raspberry or blackberry, and the leaves for them. So they're really cute. And then, of course, these other ones that cut out, like I say, the stamped objects, or even the paper. So we have the paper. I might put these back together again. Okay, so let's stick them in the envelope before I forget. So the paper is sweet. Now I've cut into it, and this one we will cut into some more tonight. But you can see all the characters on here. Now nothing gets cut out here from this piece of paper because it's smaller. And the same with this one, but these are so cute. And then you'll notice the back having a nice design on them. So often this is referred to as the A side, you know, the side that goes with everything. And then this is the B side that's more generic and can go with other stuff. That obviously was a piece I cut out to do something else with. This is the same one as what we just had. So I'll stick that there. This is the one that cuts out. So you can see the bugs are considerably bigger. These little guys here, they're much bigger. This is the one you can actually cut stuff out. Not everything cuts out with the die. This guy doesn't cut out with the die. This guy doesn't cut out with the die. But like the little flowers, this even cuts out with the die. These guys have the die. This has a die. This has a die. This has a die. There's even this little watering can with a die. So really, really useful, adorable set. And then the nice back with this little tiny flower pattern, which I think is so sweet. This, of course, was just the same there. I'm going to put that over. Then there's the cut aparts. So these make great card fronts, or if you're a scrapbooker and you want to do something with that, that would be awesome. I've started to do a card front. I'm just playing around with this one. I had to cut it down to fit onto a card front, but you can see here I've added some mushrooms and mushroom caps on the top here just to give it a little bit more depth, and brush them with the die cuts with a blending brush. So you've got these pieces you can do whatever you want with. There's the back side. Here is again that one that cuts out. So you get 2 sheets of each style. Then there's this one, very sweet. I could see using that with that jar set that we have. Here's a similar pattern to that first page. And then here are mushrooms. And I really like this side, so that picnicky blanket sort of look. Awesome. So there's all of those sheets. I'm just going to keep that one at the top because we're going to utilize it. Also with the sweet, there was these little gems. There's little ladybugs that are so cute. And then just clear little dots, which are very universal. They go with everything. And then there is this really nice rickrack ribbon. So it's very soft. Actually, my rough hands will catch it. It's made of that polyester that likes to get caught on rough fingers. But it is quite nice. So that also came with it. Okay, so let's start assembling this card. If you've got a suite or anything, a new stamp set or something, you're like, I don't know what to do with it. Open up the catalog, go online, just Google the set, something, and get some ideas from other people. It's always a good starting point to just figure out, that was the wrong one. Just to get a good idea of how to start the process is nice. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, and then we're scoring it at 4 1/4. So there we go. fold that over, and we're going to give that a good little burnish with our bone folder. And the reason you give it a burnish is so it does lay flat and doesn't pop up. So it's pretty good. Not obviously not 100%, but not bad. If we have a white piece we are going to stamp on, so we want that to be our top layer here. And we're just going to go about 1/8 of an inch smaller. So like I said, this is 4 1/4. So I'm just going to do 4 1/8. And I'm using our paper trimmer here, which is so easy to use. All the markings here, you have imperial and metric. Yes, I'm in Canada and we do metric, but I am kind of the age that I had both in school. So it's just common to utilize both for us. For me anyways. So you can see how that's just going to give a nice border all the way around. Now this glued down on this card, it glued right down to it, and I didn't mind that, but I don't know, I might do it just a little bit different, and I'll talk about that as we go. So the other thing too is you'll notice this is white, this isn't white, so I kind of created our own DSP or designer series paper. So we had the lily of the valley and then the little flower, and we use cloud cover. This is a 25-26 in color. It's a great in color. I was able to, as a demonstrator, buy the actual full-size stamp pad. It is not available for general purchase because they found when it was on the foam, it didn't hold true to the color. So they wanted it used with a felt pad. And our Stampin' Spots are felt pads. So that's how you get it. You either buy the refill, like you can buy it obviously isn't right, but you can buy a little bottle of the ink to refill your stamp pads. And then you can buy a little Stampin' Spot, or I believe they are part of a set with the Stampin' Spots. But so if you're looking for it, you're not going to find the full pad. All right, so we're going to just come through. I'm going to create kind of a pattern throughout the paper here. Stamping off as I go because it just makes it look a little more natural than just a general patterned paper. And then this little guy, I'm going to do kind of every which way as I go through. Again, stamp off, and I think I'm going to actually do this one upside down, and maybe another one upside down here. Now the middle I'm not going to really see, so I'm not going to get too worried about that, but I'm just going to go throughout my paper here. I think that's good. Less is more, as I always tell my husband. Okay. So instead of sticking that right on, I'm going to continue on and do it just slightly different. Now, 4 1/4, this was 4 1/4. So we're going to do 4 1/4, the same width as that, by 2 inches, and we're going to cut that in cloud cover. So that, and then 4 1/4. There we go. And then that's just going to go across here. We're going to kind of do it opposite like this. So that's going to cover that. All right. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ribbon on this first. So it was ribbon across here. I'm going to just reach, sorry, reaching through the camera here. And now you should always have a different pair of scissors for your ribbon and one for your paper, because paper will dull scissors. If you've ever worked or had a seamstress in your life, you realize that they will not let you use their, and I'm the same, sewing scissors with their with paper. It's just a no-go. Paper does not get utilized on sewing scissors. Okay, so what I'm going to do, again, learning from what I did last night, is I'm just going to put some tape. This is what we call tear and tape. I'm just going to put it down in the middle here for a second, one on each piece, just because I didn't like how it kept moving around on me. I just want a slight piece. It is see-through, so you're not going to see it, and then we're going to basically cover that anyways. So tear and tape simply is two-sided tape that tears. It is called, given its name for a very good reason. All right, so I've got the backing on there. I'm going to take the backing off this first, and I've got my take your pick tool. And after I've burnished or I've rubbed this down good, then I can just, with the sharp end of that take your pick tool, pull that off, and my backings can go into the garbage. Now I'm going to lay this on here. And like I said, you're not going to see that in there, but that is going to hold it a little steadier than what my other one was. So I see the picture, I get the idea of what to do, and it's helping me be creative and create the card, but in my own way. I pull these off here like this, and then just scoop those around the end and tack them down. You'll see a lot of demonstrators, creators put another piece of tape on that, and that's because sometimes these will pull it. As you can see, I can just lift them off. But because I stuck them down there, I think we're pretty safe. I don't think I need to put another side of tape on there. So now I'm going to center this on here. I'm going to have to use some of our dimensionals on this, just because that ribbon is already giving it a space there. If I glued it down, it wouldn't glue very nicely. So I'm going to just add our dimensionals in here, and I can't really put them on top of the ribbon either, because of it's not going to stick as well, and it's going to add an unevenness to the level of the card, which I don't want to do. So, you know, I'm even using this take your pick to grab those papers off the back, pile them all on there, and throw them away so I don't have them all over my craft room. Now I'm going to center this on the middle of the card, just hanging over ever so slightly, like that. And then I'm going to also add dimensionals here, I think, just to stick that up a little bit, I believe. Let's finish it and see what we think. Maybe we won't. Okay, so easy peasy. Now we have these circles. These circles are from a set that is called Stylish Shapes. And we have all sorts. So I have the two circles here I'm going to use. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles, 6 squares. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then 4 of these banner ones as well. Very, very universal set. It's been around for quite a while. It's worth its weight in gold because it is so universal. And you'll see in a second kind of what makes it so unique. So our card and what showed in our in the catalog was this one here, where the flowers are kind of veering that way. This was the one I took. You could also take the strawberries here. Now I'm trying to not get that there. I'm trying to get what I want. So maybe that's not the one. And then the little one was this guy, and that's the one I think that was on the card. It was facing this way. So this little guy there was the one they had. But we could do this little one. We could do this little one. We could get a bigger circle out, middle circle, and do maybe that guy, which I think would be sweet. I think that opens up our designs a little bit more. And then there also is this other paper. Now, this has more of a green tone to it, so I'm not going to use this one, where this one has the cloud cover background, so it matches a little bit nicer for what I want. Let me just see, will this one here work? I can kind of save on paper. No, not really. That one would work. I don't really want to cut into paper any more than I have to. But let's see. So let's get this guy out here. And we'll use that one there to create for that. And then what are we going to use for this? Could we use those strawberries there? Might get that, guys. Let's do what they did here and get this one here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cut up around and try to not take any more than I need to. And I'm just going to cut this out. I do want to make sure I'm getting enough, though. I don't want to get edges here that aren't going to work. So I'm going to kind of do a good cut around here like this. There we go. Oops, so I can just tear that ever so slightly. Okay, so we're going to have our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here. And my circle punch. And then I have my plate number 1, plate number 2. And if you were watching the other night, I had my old plate that I needed to retire, and it retired. It's no longer, well, I shouldn't say that. I think it is right behind me on my printer, but we're not going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down. Then I'm going to grab this, center this on here. I will have to get a little bit of those feet or those feet. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to center it the best I can. Stick some tape on there. Like I said the other night, the Post-it note tape works really good. And I usually keep pieces hanging around. I just stick them on here and reuse them because they are reusable. 2 or 3 times, and then they're usually done after that. All right, so I said there was something interesting about these dies, which I wanted to show. So obviously, they're going to give me a nice circle here. And you can see it's got a stitched edge around it. But also, it gives me a circle with a stitched edge. So if I wanted to create a little peek hole, I could use this to create the hole in my card that you're going to be able to see something in behind. So these work for two different ways, which are really quite neat. And I can appreciate that they do that. Okay, so put these back before I lose them. And then, so a great set, 159183. I believe they're still part of the annual catalog. Hopefully they continue being part of the annual catalog when that gets renewed. Okay, which is coming up. So there is our flowers. There is our little bug. And we could even, and I went ahead and cut a circle. We can even kind of switch it up and do it this way. Maybe, no, kind of create our bubbles a little bit differently than what we had here. So that way. So it's looking at the hello friend. Just kind of do a mirror image of it because this little guy is facing the opposite way. Or we could do it kind of the same way that they had it. It's however you want. So let's stamp this first. And it was that hello friend. In the catalog, it used Cajun Craze. It's a nice color. It's kind of a red-orange color. But you know what? I thought, let's just stick with the same tone and use the Secret Sea. I really like this one. I think it's awesome. Awesome for sentiment. It's not quite as sharp as the black. It's like a navy blue hue to it. And it just, to me, is a very, very appealing color. Okay, so now we need to put these on. And the thing of it is these are going to have to go on, like back here is going to have to be dimensionals to stick it up because I can't just stick it down. It's already going to be up because of this. So I have to put a dimensional there. I don't know if I have put dimensionals under here. With this being up, I don't think I should put dimensional under here. So then do I double dimensionalize it by putting this up like this? Is kind of my question. I thought I would, but now I'm second guessing it. I think I'm just going to go to sticking it right down with the glue. So just a bit of the Tombow glue. When you're using white cardstock, don't use a whole lot of it unless you've embossed that white cardstock because it will leave ripples on your paper. There is the tape runner that people seem to like. That's great. That's usable. I can't use them for some reason. Tape runners and me just do not work together. Okay, so I'm going to put two here, two dimensionals here. And then I'm going to take a glue dot. And I'm going to put it at the bottom. So glue dots are simply that. They're a little dot of glue. They're like a sticker. It's a little teeny tiny one. I might pick up two here just because they're going to go on that ribbon. And I don't know exactly where it's going to stick, but I do want it to stick. So we're going to put that there. So those dimensionals are up here. Those glue dots are going to be down here. There we go. Now we have our sentiment that's going to go here. And I'm just going to use the glue dots for that because I don't want to put it up on a higher plane. Boy, that one's really stuck. Whoa. I've never had a glue dot stick like that to the paper. Usually they just pull right off. But these ones aren't wanting to do that. That's weird. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm just going to rip that off so I know where I am. All of them are done. All that ribbon. Oh my goodness. Those are really gluey. Okay, so hello friend there. And then this little guy is going to go here. So again, a couple of those glue dots. And then I think I'm just got enough space here. At the bottom, I can use a mini dimensional. The mini ones. I think this one came out of my paper pumpkin kit. Okay. So I did have the ribbon just tied up to help hold this, but it's apparently now going to cause more trouble than not. So another thing people will do is they'll use their take your pick tool to pick these off and put them on. I'm going to have to pull that fuzz off now. Oh my goodness, nothing ever wants to work easy when you want it to, right? Okay. So just make sure that dimensional is on the right. Want to see that, friend? There we go. So, hello, friend. Got that card. Very sweet. It matches, right? So similar, but slightly different. And let's use some of these gems because we've got them and they're cute. And why not? I don't know if I want to use a ladybug because we don't really need a ladybug on this. We'll use one of these. Sorry for that little bit of a pause there. So I've got a couple gems there. My son just came home from bowling, so I had to have a quick pause and go get that sorted out. All right, so then I can pick up a gem with my other end, and we usually use three groups of three, or at least uneven numbers. Studies show that that is more appealing to your brain than what even number is when you're looking. So odd numbers work well. I don't know if you can even see those gems there. So we got 1, 2, 3. They just add a nice little bit of a sparkle. So great little card, handy dandy. We can put our sentiment inside. The other stickers stamp that came with it was hello friend. So we used hello friend. I think I would just put love you lots inside and maybe another one of these stamps just to set it off, or maybe just the little flower, I think. And I think I'm going to use the Secret C again. So let's do the love you lots. I don't want to get ink on my card. I think I just did. Oh no. Okay, love you lots. I'm going to just use the back of this one. Peel that off. Put on another block. I had to clean them all. All right, so bring this down here. Love you lots. Right, and I like to line my card up with my Glass Mat Studio, and then I can get my stamp straighter. It's still not 100%, but there we go. And then let's just put a little flower there. Very sweet. So all done. All said and done. Got the card. Quick and easy. So sweet. You can make so many. You could use, instead of doing this, you could put one of those other pieces like that red check piece behind it. Cut a piece out. You could do all sorts of different things, all sorts of ideas. Have a look. If you're interested in shopping, follow the link on the down in the more. I'll put a shopping link there. And if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, you don't have to sell. You can become a hobby demonstrator, and that immediately gets you 10% discount on products. To become a demonstrator, the deal is you pay $135 in Canada, and you get $165 in product. You pay tax, whatever it is for your province, but you don't have to pay shipping for your initial demonstrator welcome packer. Sorry, I can't think of what you call it, but your initial demo joining kit. And then afterwards, you immediately get 10% discount on everything. Plus, you earn credits that get you more discount. Plus, you're able to get product a month or two before it's released to the general public. So a lot of demonstrators are what we call hobby demonstrators. They just take advantage of the discounts. They don't sell, they just get the discount. And nowadays, it's hard to find good quality product in our stores because the stores are closing, and they just don't back up the stuff, and Stampin' Up does back up their stuff. It is an amazing quality. Even the paper alone, good quality paper. I could take some of the name brand paper that's out in the stores now and try cutting it, and it just does not cut nicely. So this is a good quality heavyweight paper, full color core cardstock, and it's awesome. So if you're interested in that, pop me off an email, but I'll also send a joining link or add a joining link to the bottom of this or the information part of this video. Thank you so much. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.